It is the Riot Podcast. Welcome to day one of the Worst of the Riot's year in review.
So we've picked some of, Isaiah's picked some of his favorite moments, even before he came.
Yeah. Oddly enough, yes. Even before I was here, I still picked them.
So you were listening the whole time.
That's true. We've got some of our favorite moments from this year as we take a look at 2021 before we head into 2022.
So what do we get to look back on today, Isaiah?
So we kicked off today by talking about some Little Debbie bandits, as well as does Hudson have a Kentucky Waterfall?
Yeah, I almost forgot about
your hair.
What was the answer to
How
that?
long is your hair now? Did you ever get your hair cut?
No.
You still haven't had
I haven't gotten a cut, no.
How do you do that?
What do you mean?
I get a haircut like every 2 weeks. Literally every 2 weeks I get a haircut.
I get a haircut like maybe 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah?
But your hair, you said you wanted to get your hair cut back then.
Was it that long ago?
Well, remember, I think it was in early fall you were going to go on vacation and you were like, I need to get my hair cut before then.
I did get one haircut at some point. But was
you do it yourself or do you?
No, I go to a place. That's why it's so difficult.
Gotcha.
I
didn't know if you just give it the good chop. You know?
Everybody has to go to a place. That's what a haircut is.
Yeah, but I could do it myself.
I think you should.
I don't know if that would work out very well.
No,
that's why.
But you always wear a hat, so you just hide it.
That's why I can just go so long without cutting it at all. Now you've got me thinking: have I gotten my hair cut since I joined the show in June of this year?
You need to go get.
That's a long time.
That is a long time.
That's like half a year, which is a long time.
Yeah.
If I didn't cut my hair for half a year, I don't even know
what it would look like.
What it would look
you
like.
You should try it. It feels great, actually. It feels great.
Well, we start with the. We also have a ultimate peanut butter food fight from Reeses.
Oh yeah,
Reeses.
And then we also did a Cosmic Brownie cereal food fight as well.
I feel like that was more than 6 months ago, but
that's pretty. It's right around that area.
Gosh, I feel like that was like years ago, but it's not.
Man, we packed so much into just 6 months of the riot this year.
So I will tell you the hardest part about when we do these look backs at years is I can't remember most of them.
Yeah.
I know
because there's so many
I'm
shows.
Totally
so this is the Hudson got hit by a train. Don't remember.
Oh, I remember that.
Well, yeah, you should.
Yeah, I feel that'd be a pretty traumatic experience.
That's a great story. You guys should actually listen back to when we talked about that.
Well, I need
to
too.
The two of you should listen back to
that story.
Since you don't remember it.
Enjoy this first day at our look back at some of our favorite moments of this year. And make sure you text and say hi. And if there's something you want us to maybe include in the other days for our Worst of Riot 2021, you just text us at 877 to RadioU.
And we'll check you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on RadioU.
Take a walk with me to Poplar Bluffs, Missouri. I hope I'm saying that right.
Poplar Bluffs.
Poplar Bluffs.
Or I guess there's no S, so Poplar Bluff.
Poplar Bluff. That's right. Poplar. There's only one single bluff.
It feels like there should be an S there, but we have not been to Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
No, I haven't. I imagine a sleepy town, not a whole lot going on, except there's a crime ring taking down all of the Little Debbies throughout the city. Throughout the village ever since January 1st. The new year brought a new dawn of crime to the town.
I really appreciate that Hudson thinks your area is so small that it's a village.
It's a village, yes.
I think it's a bigger town than that.
It's a village. It doesn't even have cars in my mind. There's just horse and buggies.
Crime? Is there police? They don't have anything. The constable?
It's just one constable.
Like, what do you have?
I have no idea. Like, Poplar Bluff probably has like 100,000 people there. And just because it's in Missouri and I've never heard of it.
I'm sure it's wonderful, but there's a volunteer force.
That's right. That's why they can't take this crime ring down. But
what are they doing?
Well, on January 1st, it was a husband, or I guess that's assuming a lot. It was a man and a woman. Husband and a wife.
You put them together and they're not even.
Yeah, well, the couple that commits crimes together stays together. There was a man and a woman. They pulled up in a Lincoln sedan. They pull up to this storage unit, and they steal just cases and cases. 3 cases of strawberry shortcakes, 2 cases of zebra cake rolls, 3 cases of Susie Q's.
Oh, no, unicorn cakes.
2 cases of unicorn cakes, 2 cases of birthday cakes. Oh, and 8 cases of bagged donuts. So
Now, for the Little Debbie stuff, when you say case at first, I was like, oh, you mean like a box of zebra cakes?
right, I'm thinking like one of the
it's a bigger
trays or
case.
something. Yeah. Well, I don't know how big it can be because it's a Lincoln sedan and they got all of this stuff in there.
They got a lot.
So it sounds like a lot, and I'm sure it is in the Little Debbie cake world.
They're saying that there's very much a black market for snack cakes right now. So they call it like, think back to booze back into in the day with like liquor and stuff with that. Well, now it's snack cakes.
I wonder how easy that is to sell. How do you what?
Well, okay, now Hudson, do we really want to know how easy is it to sell zebra cakes and snack cakes?
If we wanted a zebra cake, would we really ask
village?
questions? Yeah, right.
Like, I don't think it's hard at all.
There's not. If you can get a discount in that village, you're going to take it.
This isn't a blanket outside a van at a gas station. Like, this is snack cakes.
Right.
You would even just go to your family and friends, and they'll all buy them up.
Right, of course. So that was on January 1st. And the funny thing is, they have this all on video. It was on a security cam. And so they're thinking, we can just solve this. And what has been almost, I guess it's 6 months now, and they haven't caught them. And then fast forward here to very recently, you've got another incident. 2 men this time also broke into a different storage unit and walked away with a bunch of other, they haven't figured out all of the inventory yet, but a bunch more cases of Little Debbie snack cakes. So now they're trying to figure out, is this connected?
Storing them? And then,
yeah, right. What is the storage unit situation where all these Little Debbies are kept?
Well, it feels like an inside job because someone knew they knew the Debbie cakes were there.
Right. Were they just going through all the storage units? Nope, that's just boxes.
No, they knew. They knew what they were doing.
It had to be.
So they want help identifying the people stealing all the Little Debbie snack cakes in Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Yeah.
And they want the public to help identify them.
The constable needs help. All he has is security
God.
footage that clearly shows their faces.
What a show that would be.
It would.
That would be an amazing show.
A Discovery Channel special right there.
It is. Or I feel like a podcast where instead of it being like a serial one, it's a snack cake
a true crime, yeah.
True crime one.
Yep, and it could be called Little Debbie seems too on the... I don't know what it would be called, but...
Small Susie. Small Susie it is.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
The guy's name is Ben, I believe, and he commented, I did the Radio U This Week video.
Yeah.
Where I said, I just give an update for the week. I said that I'm on the riot now and stuff like that. The update. You can go watch the video if you want to see all the whole 40 seconds. Yeah. But Ben commented and he said, does Hudson have a Kentucky waterfall?
So is that like a mullet?
Yeah, I had to look it up and that's seems to be a specific term because even Google doesn't really bring up the hairstyle first.
Oh, just to show you
it's
waterfalls.
More about waterfalls in Kentucky.
You had to look that one through. You're like, are you insulting me?
But then I did eventually come to the conclusion that, he was talking about my hair.
It just means it's getting a little longer in the back.
Yeah, but I guess it threw me for a loop because...
Do you not see your hair getting longer in the back?
No, I know my hair's long, but that's like it's a mullet, business up front, party in the back, but mine is all long.
Well, your hair
it's long at the top. I guess you just never see me. Like, look, Nikki, maybe you've never seen this. Let me take off my hat. Have you ever seen me without a hat?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
it's so long.
It's long everywhere.
Well, then why don't you next time don't wear your hat?
I like the hat.
Well, you need to send a picture to the guy and be like, listen, this isn't a Kentucky waterfall.
No, it's not.
This is
and
Niagara.
I do kind of feel like that's a derogatory term for it, Like, it does feel like...
Kentucky's like, why, guys?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, all the pictures that once you did find the Kentucky waterfall hairstyle, maybe this is me judging, but... They weren't exactly so flattering.
Is it bad?
It was pretty bad. I think there's a level of if you have a mullet, and then I feel that the Kentucky waterfall is kind of another step down.
Oh, it's another level down.
Yeah.
Aww.
But you know what's funny though? Out of all of this, I don't want to have a mullet. I really don't.
But you have really long hair.
It's pretty long.
It is.
Actually, I keep like the last time I got a haircut, which I don't do so often. I got it cut a lot shorter because if you look back at some of the old videos, you can see of me, it's past my shoulders.
It's way grown out.
But I didn't go for a long time, partially because of the virus and partially just because I didn't want to. I don't like getting my hair cut, But now I want to cut it even shorter than this. And it's not, I wanted to get it cut shorter
Anyways, before Ben's comment.
Yeah, but now I really want to get it cut shorter.
You should totally not wear your hat. Like guys want long hair like that all the time.
People tell me that, but I just, the real reason, one, I've worn a hat like almost all the time since I was very young. And
is it comforting?
I don't know. I just feel like it's part of me. It's a part of my style.
It's your look, yeah.
It's my look, and I don't like the idea. I've never liked the idea because I don't like going to get a haircut because that's too much work. And I don't, but then your hair gets long, and I don't want to have to deal with like styling long hair. So you just wear a hat.
Why didn't you get into the man bun sort of ponytail thing?
That's not me. You think that's me?
I think you could totally pull it off.
You think I could pull it? It doesn't go with with the rest of my style. And that's a whole different.
It doesn't need to.
It's a whole different set of terms that come with that
then
that
Ben
are different than the Kentucky Waterfall. Right. They're going to say, is that supposed to do with a man bun? But they'd find some other meaner way to put it.
Some man bun term that we don't know.
Yeah. Some more specific and more derogatory.
I feel like you can do that if you wanted to. Like you could totally pull it off. Your hair is super long.
I think I do believe
like you've hidden this whole top part of your head for so long. Even I had no idea.
I know. I've had a few instances where people like at work or just that haven't seen me without my hat on. Very rarely they'll be like, why don't you not wear a hat because your hair is so long? If I had long hair like that, I'd be rocking it. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand. If you had long hair like this, you'd have to do something with it.
I'm surprised because
it's so long that you would
just chop it if you hated it so much.
But then I have to go to the thing that I really am worried about is that I kind of just want to cut hair myself, but I'm worried that look even worse.
Well, just shave it then.
All of my hair, anything I do with my hair is just, it's not done to make it look good. It's done out of fear of it looking bad is what I think.
With a healthy dose of laziness with it.
Yes, exactly. And that's almost all of my appearance all the time.
Ben, thanks for the Kentucky Waterfall comment towards his hair.
And maybe another day we can get into the idea that my dad had a mullet. Real mullet.
Oh, okay.
But we don't have time for that now. But that's a future discussion.
If you're looking for hot takes on the day's most important news stories, you're in the wrong place. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
We've got Reese's Ultimate Peanut Butter Lovers.
So it's basically the peanut butter part of a Reese's cup. It's just the peanut butter part. There's no chocolates.
I can tell I was annoying Nikki a second ago because
you were not. But
I could see your face. I saw it.
Tomato. Everybody says Reese's differently. And so how do you say it?
It's Reese's.
Reese's.
It's Reese's because if you look at, actually, this is helpful. It's helpful if you know about Canada because in Canada, they don't have the apostrophe S. So it's a Reese cup.
Oh.
So they don't call it a Reese cup.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I don't know about the branding. Maybe there's some other company that it is also called Reese's. But either way.
Wait, you just said it to me and I've already forgotten. So it's
Reese's.
Reese's.
Think of if you knew someone named Reese and something belonged to him, you would say, that's Reese's.
That's Reese's
That's
cup.
Reese's car.
But I like Reese's better. I do, because of like Pieces.
Yeah, but Pieces isn't a word either.
That's not even a word.
That's why it really drives me crazy. Because if you say Reese's Pieces, it actually rhymes and it's a real word.
It's all wrong no matter what. It's all wrong. But this is the Reese's.
Yes.
Reese's cup.
It doesn't matter how you say it. They have the commercials. It's like there's no wrong way to eat it. I don't know if they still do those. There's no wrong way to pronounce it.
You can't do it wrong.
Yeah, but these are
unless you're Hudson and you think everybody else does it wrong.
I have it's a real thing that bothers me when I hear people. That one and like when people say caramel instead of caramel are the two that drive me up a wall.
I like when I find something that really does bother you. It's like it's not for show. Like he really wants you to say Reese's cup.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But let's talk about how this might taste. It smells really peanut buttery.
It does. Now we've had recently the bigger, like the jumbo cups.
Yeah.
So I noticed when I got this out that this feels a lot smaller than maybe what a normal Reese's cup is.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can't. But this all peanut butter.
I think we're just so used to, we've just gravitated towards the big cup because we do like the peanut butter in it. I wonder if this will satisfy that need with being smaller.
It's so good. I mean, this is the good part of a cup. This is good. I mean, I could use a little chocolate.
Yeah, maybe.
Just a little chocolate, but wow, those are good too.
I like it. Can I say, I don't know that it's a vast difference from a regular Reese's.
Sure.
You get you're just kind of missing a little bit of the chocolate more so than you're getting more peanut butter flavor.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I would take this over the big cup because I think the actual peanut butter filling is better than the peanut butter
around it
outside. But that said, I mean, it's still a Reese's. It's still really good.
It would be really nice if maybe they gave you a little dipping cup of chocolate so you could just dip to the side.
Now that's using your noggin.
Right there. They're
Reese's
like, wait, we never
it's
thought
just a
about
Reese's and it's got a chocolate pocket there for you to dip in.
That's right. But I still like the bigger ones now that have like the pretzel pieces inside or the Reese's pieces that are inside too. Like I really like those. So this feels a little underwhelming because it's like going back to a normal Oreo.
Yeah, it's kind of
or a normal
plain.
One, but it's good. I mean, it's still really delicious.
Yeah. Well, we bought the king size here, and I think we're gonna be sharing the other two that we haven't gotten to yet.
Well, I feel like we want to make sure that we're right in our judgment towards it. We should try the others.
Sorry, I'm just gonna have my mouth full. So.
It's definitely true. Someone was just mentioning they taste like peanut butter fudge, and that's Haskell's mentioning. So absolutely, that's a perfect way to describe it.
I'm, you know what? I give them a thumbs up. At the end of the day, I think it's all you need to know.
Worst of the Riot podcast.
Did you see this story where it's a 30-year-old mom? Her name is Casey Garcia, and she got arrested because she was posing as her 13-year-old daughter at school.
I wasn't sure when I first started reading, like, was she just posing as a 13-year-old? But no, she was like taking over her daughter's like seat and stuff to pose as her during the day to show like, hey, the security at this school, this middle school that her daughter was going to was really not good enough.
Yeah.
Or it was also just she says, an experiment to show like, teachers aren't really paying attention to you.
Right.
And, wearing masks or having the freedom to wear a mask if you want to, even if they're not required, really kind of left it teachers not looking at you.
Right.
And kind of paying attention to you, but instead you're just another student there.
Well, the first thing that made me laugh was that she was arrested because they called it trespassing, what she was doing. She got arrested at the end of the day. She had gone through the whole school day. And I think it was the final period. One of the teachers noticed
and asked
and said something. And so then she was arrested, and she was also arrested for tampering with government records and an unrelated traffic violation. I like that.
She had something else already going.
It wasn't just that she had, snuck into the school.
Hey, you got to remember, if you have an outstanding
you're
thing
taking
that you
a chance.
haven't taken care of.
I guess, in a way, if she made it all the way to the last period, she was proven right in a sense. But then again, they did eventually catch her. And did you look at the pictures
of her?
Like, I guess she should feel good about this. She's 30 years old, and she, especially when you see the picture of her daughter, she really could pass the 13-year-old.
And she wore a hoodie and she had a mask on.
Right.
So you're covering up a lot. She said that she dyed her hair a little bit darker, memorized her daughter's ID number and just kind of some of her mannerisms.
Yeah.
And she said that the teachers were more upset and like the only time they really talked to you was to tell you to get off your phone in class. And otherwise, they really didn't interact.
Yeah, that is, it's an interesting little experiment she did there.
Well, now with the arrest, I don't know how interesting it is. Actually, she's using that as a like, hey, see, you're still not talking about the school safety. Now it's become her. So she was released on $7,800 bond. She said, I spent the day in police custody, but my question still remains, are they safe in school?
Yeah.
Because anyone could just get in.
If they look exactly the same as somebody else.
And
do you
memorize
think,
the number.
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess that's not so hard for somebody with bad intentions to do.
Sure.
So maybe we shouldn't
you could
even
find
be,
a way to get in.
we shouldn't even be telling them this. What if
Like-
somebody with bad intentions is listening right now? And we just
get
shared
in
the
here?
story and told them how simple it is. No.
With how many places now are really looking for help and for like students to come back in and all that stuff, they'd be welcoming anyone to come in. It's like, come on in.
Just
do
join
the job.
team. Yeah. It's you mentioned it does kind of sound like a Lifetime movie, doesn't it?
It does. It feels like...
Except something would have to go wrong, like somebody would have to get hurt.
Well, it still has the case aspect because now the mom's been arrested.
Right.
So, they could show the courtroom stuff with that.
Yeah, there you go.
The town, really rallying
You're exactly
behind
right.
her
Yes.
because she's a mom.
There's a big... Or she gets really, chastised by the other moms, and when she was just trying to do the right thing, but all that, she gets kicked out of the mom's group.
It seems like the other students' parents are pretty interested in what she did, and they feel like that was a good social experiment or just experiment showing hey, it really is unsafe.
Welcome to The Riot, where you listen to us and that's it. It's pretty much a one-way street. The Riot. RadioU.
It finally makes sense why we have to keep talking about eating cicadas.
And tell people to not do it?
You kept wondering, why are there so many recipes out there? Why are there cookbooks, and why are restaurants serving them? It's not because they taste good.
It's another
reason. Apparently some people, maybe this is just if you go to the right Reddit forums or the right TikTok channels, you'll find people that think cicadas will get you high.
I thought they were eating them if they were high. I thought it was that way, but they say that besides being a source of protein and carbs, is it a complex carb? I don't know. But they were wondering if you get some sort of buzz or high out of eating them. Or is it your adrenaline is rushing, you rip the wings off, don't eat the wings, and then you just eat the bug itself.
Or maybe
what would it do?
Aphrodisiac.
Oh, I don't know. That's worse. That is so worse. It's please don't say that is.
But why do we have to warn people? It's always things that are gross. People just, anything that's gross to eat, people are but maybe it gets you high. And
maybe
we have to then go ahead and debunk that. Well, this is Ohio State. They call him Bug Doc Dave. That's, I think, his words, not ours. But
that's his nickname?
It's his nickname. His real name is Dr. David Shetler. And he just did a Mythbuster little situation where he answered some questions to try to debunk some myths about cicadas. And the number one myth is, will eating cicadas get you high? Now, he says not likely. Mm-hmm. This is from a doctor, so he doesn't say it's impossible. Apparently, I guess the myth is based in truth that you would have to eat about 100 of the insects. And the insects, the cicadas themselves, have to be infected with the fungi, Massapora cicadina fungi.
Well, it's worse.
That's what would get you high.
This, you don't have to worry, though. It's for someone who weighs 140 to 150 pounds. Oh, yeah. So if you don't weigh that wonderful weight and you're more than that, you have to eat even more cicadas because it's based on your body weight.
Not that you don't have the option. They're out there. You could certainly find enough, I guess, to get here, but can you really stomach that many cicadas?
I doubt it. They say that you would have to eat that many to start feeling the effects. And then he also answered questions. This is the one that I hear the most is if you're allergic to eating cicadas, because they kept saying if you have a shrimp or a lobster sort of shellfish sort of allergy, that it's so similar, you'd have to watch and make sure you did not have an allergic reaction to it. Will they hurt your pet if your dog eats them? Yep. So he was answering some of those.
Right. So that they won't hurt your animals. And
well, I would if my dog tried to. Yeah, right. I'm going to rip that thing right out of their mouth.
Sydney told me she remembers the last time that the cicadas came out. Or no, actually, it wasn't the last time. It was a different time when a different set of cicadas were out in Virginia and she was visiting. And she said her dog, or one of the dogs there, ate one, and so it was making noise as the dog chewed it. So, it was making its death screams. And all of a sudden it was gone. So
that is gross.
That's hard to imagine. Hard to imagine my dog doing that.
Oh, I can imagine mine. And they're outside. I have a fence, so they're just out there on the road. And they stare at the fence like, what's going on over there?
If nothing else, it feels like it would be fun for a dog to chase them around because there's just so many. I don't know. But.
And then back to the allergy part, they say, if there's a chance, if you're allergic to shrimp or lobster, that you might actually get a allergic reaction to a cicada. But that's all going back to why if you're eating a cicada.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
And it's not just Nikki and I today.
No, we had to bring in someone special.
Yes.
This is Jason with Death Therapy.
Yes.
Yay!
Jason.
How are you doing,
Yeah.
Jason?
Doing good. Sitting in my closet doing an interview. Right?
That works for us. Are you in
Is
there
that too
just? Are you in there
Am I
because
us?
you want to keep it quiet from everybody else around there, or why are you hiding in the closet there?
Yeah, I have a couple small children, so I gotta keep it a little sound dampened. This is my studio.
So it's either
Aw.
that or the bathroom then.
Yeah, I figured I would choose the closet.
That's a good choice.
I think Hudson in the bathroom would be too echoey. So
That's a good point.
Probably
That's a
so.
good point.
And then someone else needs in there. Well, Jason with Death
It's a different
Therapy.
kind of reverb.
Exactly. Melancholy Machines is the new project from Death Therapy that just came out. And of course, the song Tension,
Yeah.
you can hear it on RadioU. Jason, we absolutely love the new stuff. We're
Yes.
so excited about it.
Thank you. I'm glad. So it seems to be being received pretty well so far. It's a little different than the old stuff.
Well, Hudson and I always talk about like no one knows how to classify it or like what category
Yeah.
we're putting Tension in and all the other songs. So like say a family member or someone catches up with you and they're like, well, what are you doing, Jason? Like how do you describe Death Therapy's current sound to people? How do you describe it?
I mean, it's sort of like the musical embodiment of ADHD, I guess. Is that sort of, which makes sense because that's me to a T. But yeah, I mean, it's we sort of thought, well, what if we could write a song that sort of sounded like Uptown Funk and industrial metal slammed into one song, and that's what we went for.
And it worked.
Did I always
Yeah.
want to know, because when Nikki and I listen to Tension in the studio, we always turn it up, especially for the woo. Is
Oh,
that
at the
you
end?
doing the woo, or was that like sample from something?
Yes, it's him.
Oh, I love it.
I would like to. I would like to say that we got Ric Flair to come into the studio and do the guest woo, but no, it was me.
That would
And
have been
actually,
awesome.
I didn't expect that to make the final cut. The producer just sort of kept it in there.
Oh, really?
Well, that was a good call, because that's
it makes
what we
the
always
ends.
get so excited for.
It is. This is Jason with Death Therapy, and we're talking about the new song Tension. And at the end, you'll hear it, and because we're talking about like you'll never miss it again.
Yep.
It's this woo at
Right.
the end, and I'm so glad it made it in because it definitely makes the ending.
You guys always
Yeah,
have.
and it comes sort of out of this cathartic, like, you know, the song's called Tension, right? So there's like this super tense moment that happens, and then it's sort of like the woo happens. It all comes back together.
It's guttural. It's powerful.
It's metaphorical.
You guys
means a lot.
you always have so much, such good guest appearances. It would have been great to get Ric Flair on there, but I did notice you got Fireflight to join you on the new album as well. How did that come
Dawn
about?
Michelle. Yeah, Dawn Michelle jumped on the song The Silence of God. She's amazing and has a wonderful voice. I'm sure RadioU fans know all about how amazing Fireflight is. And the song just seemed to fit perfectly for her voice. And yeah, I mean, in the past, I've brought on guest vocalists that are like metal guys or, you know,
Right.
shredders to do a solo. I was like, what if we just went just chill this time? So
It's a good choice
Yeah.
though, because Dawn has such a sound to her. Like she's just so talented too. So
Right.
that was good for Melancholy Machines. We're going to tease you too, because it seems this year a lot of RadioU projects have the word melancholy in it. It seems to be a very
Really?
in word, and we've never had anything with melancholy before this year, but now it's the thing to do.
yeah, I guess it's I guess coming after 2020, some of us have a little bit of subliminal messaging.
We're all feeling a little bit of the melancholy at that time.
Yeah, all the records that are coming out right now were written during a time that melancholy is probably the right word.
Sure. So did you write Melancholy Machines during last year? Because some bands had things kind of written still right before, but then others, took that last year as time to really get a lot of songs written and get ready for them to come out this year.
Yeah, this record was actually written sort of just during the whole COVID thing, piece by piece. We just, whenever we had a chance to get together, we would jump in the studio and throw down a few songs. And so, yeah, it was written during the COVID pandemic almost entirely. And I think some of the vibe, the mood, hopefully gives people a little bit of sense of hope in the darkness. That's kind of what I was going for.
Well, if you want to check out more for Melancholy Machines, check out RadioU.com. And the music video you guys came out with earlier this week, so that's available to check out soon on RadioU TV too. When did you film the music video?
We just did it. I mean, those guys are fast. we filmed it right here in this closet. Right
before he talked to us.
Yes, right before I talk to you. No, Kevin Johnson and his hometown crew in Atlanta, a bunch of really awesome people who do a lot of music videos. They've done music videos for Fit for a King, Silent Planet, all those great bands. We're lucky to get to work with them, and we drove down and did it a few weeks ago, and it's ready. It's out. It's awesome.
That really is fast.
Yeah. Jason, I wanted to ask, we always want to find out about what you guys are doing, not just with music, but what else have you been doing to keep yourself busy, I guess, besides the kids?
Yeah, and the closet there.
That's right.
Well, I have a 9-year-old son, so we play a lot of video games.
Nice.
Lots of Nintendo Switch going on in my house. But, I also, little shameless plug, I also wrote a devotional book over the pandemic time, which is almost finished being published. So
wow.
Hopefully that'll be coming out soon. Yeah.
So you can check out Death Therapy. I'm sure you'll plug that on social media when it's ready to release.
Yeah, of course.
Yay. Well,
awesome.
Jason, you're awesome. Death Therapy's awesome.
Yes.
Tension is awesome, which of course we'll play now. And then Melancholy Machines, awesome as well, which you can check out at RadioU.com. And then the music video coming soon to RadioU TV. Thank you so much for joining us, Jason. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys as always. Love Radio U.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I said I had an embarrassing story from over the weekend. I don't even know if it's as embarrassing as it is just another item that will make you question my mental health and if I might need some kind of help.
Well, let's just be the judge and see what you did.
All right.
How bad is it?
I get home from work on Friday and I'm trying to unlock the house, the door to my house, and my key's not working. I tried in both the locks because I have two locks, but they're the same key, and it doesn't work in either one. The dog's behind the door freaking out because she hears somebody at the door and whatever.
And she can't open the door for you?
No, she can't.
So, then you need to train her better.
Fortunately, my wife finally comes and lets me in and whatever. And I'm like, I kind of thought she was playing a prank on me. I thought she was like holding the doors locked. She wasn't, but then I had made a big deal out of it. So I was like, if you weren't doing it, then my key must be messed up. And I started looking at it, looked a little bent and whatever. So I'm going to need to get a new key. So I do. I go get a new key. I don't know if you can see Nikki. Well, it's on here. One of these millions of keys.
It'll be the nicest, newest
It's the nice new, and it's a space, a universe key.
Oh, you spent big money on it.
Well, it was buy two, get one free. And I thought the next time I need a new key, I'll probably have forgotten that I made extra ones. So it won't help me at all, but maybe. So I get the space key and whatever.
Well, this all sounds perfectly normal. It's sad, but normal.
Until, right. It's kind of sad that this would be a story.
But I mean, who hasn't had trouble with keys?
Here's where it gets bad, though. I get home, and again, my wife is around for this whole thing. I put the key on my key ring, and that's when I realized that recently I was cleaning out a drawer. I found another set of keys that I thought maybe, like, one of them is for my parents' house.
Sure.
I know, it's just spare keys, and I was like, I just went to my parents' house. I should put these on so that I don't forget, so I have them for the next time, right? And then that was the key I was trying to use to unlock.
You were using your wrong one?
I was using the wrong one.
Did you tell your parents you got extra keys to their place now? You're like, hey, guys.
No. So
was
I bought the key in vain. But I really feel that the sad part is, so I'm sitting there putting the keys on, and I realized this. And I didn't tell my wife, and I haven't told my wife.
Don't. Just let her think something
is wrong. This is how we will find out if she actually listens ever. Is she starts making fun. She would never let me live it down, so I cannot tell her.
So you had the wrong whole set of keys, or you were just picking the wrong
keys? I had the right keys, but I had extra keys on my ring that I forgot about, and but it happened to be close enough to my house key that it was still working enough to get into the door. It just wouldn't, and it is slightly bent somehow. So
now I think you rent, right? But we could put a keypad on the door so you can just deal with numbers, and then when you move out, you just take it with you.
Yep, and I'll never have to know.
You're just not meant to have keys anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe I really need some help in problem solving because I didn't even. There's a million. I mean, there's a lot of keys on here, right? So maybe I needed to try more than one.
Well, first off, there's not a lot of keys. Like, there's a lot of bigger things. I think you notice what they are. But as far as keys are, there's not as many as I thought there would be to have this problem.
Yeah.
But at least you problem solved by getting some extra copies of your parents' keys.
I mean, it's not the worst. No, I got the right copy of the key. I guess that would be funnier if I copied my parents' keys and then realized I bought the wrong key entirely.
The wrong ones.
No,
You've just been trying
I was using the wrong key and bought the right key under false pretenses.
Well, now you have a nice new space key. It looks
That's
lovely.
right. At least it's an upgrade. It looks nice.
And I feel like if you get keys that have, like it's like the wrap around it, so it has a design, then that helps you remember what the key's
I won't have this problem again.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
It's time for Nikki's favorite segment, Space News.
Yay! No, it's not. And just in case someone's like, wow, she changed. She likes space. No, I don't.
She's coming around slowly and surely.
You know, the Chris Pratt movie that's coming out in a few days that I see nothing but ads for. I don't want to.
Do you know why you see nothing but ads for it? Because they're targeting you.
Oh,
they know you want to see. There are things you want to see. You want to see Chris Pratt and you want to see space. Those are the things that you want to see.
I don't mind Chris Pratt.
Because I don't even know what movie you're talking about.
Oh, you don't? The Amazon one?
Nope.
Where he gets called like into the future where they're fighting aliens and they have to transport into time?
Nope.
No?
Never heard of it.
All
don't
right,
have any idea.
Listen, it's on Amazon Prime.
What's it called?
I think
Future
it's
Man or something?
Well, I don't need to pay attention to that.
Isn't it? No, I think I know what you're talking. Is it Tomorrow Man or something tomorrow?
Something. Here, let me look real quick. Or does anybody know if you wanted to? The Tomorrow War.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
I've heard the name. I might have seen a trailer at some point, but not like you are. Because you're going to watch it because they know you want to. I guess if they knew, then why do they have to keep pushing it? Just to remind you.
I am, they're constantly just hoping that I will be ready to watch it when it comes out.
Well, now that you're primed for that and to keep your space hype going, we've got news that astronomers, they've been watching from afar all these different distant galaxies that we can see from Earth. We've been watching for years, but now it's coming out that they believe that for nearly 2,000 star systems, they've been able to observe Earth for years as well.
Like
where
they're looking back at us?
Right. If there's aliens that are on a different planet in one of these other star systems, that they could have been watching us pass through Earth or pass the sun and stuff like that, just like we have been watching them in recent years when we've been able to observe.
Well, if that's not enough to have them leave us alone, then they're like, nah, just let them pass by.
But they're making it this thing of us like, what if we're the aliens? What if they were watching us before we were watching them? Then who's the real alien?
Well,
and also,
which came first?
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
How do we decide if
I don't want to unpack that.
What if aliens are making movies about humanoids, you know?
And they're fighting. But they're the good ones.
Where we're invading their country or their planet, and we're coming in our big, and we're like waving American flags, and we're like, here we go.
I would love someone to make that movie, and then people will be like, you're on planet. Like, you're not Earth, okay? You're anti-Earth.
You're anti-Earthist.
Yes, exactly. Like, you took it past you're not American to you're just not Earth.
You are anti-Earth. Well, yeah, but that's what they say. But like the way they put it, it's that they could have been watching Earth from afar, where they could have seen us just transiting the sun or whatever, which if the aliens are doing that, that's not that interesting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, we don't really care. None of us care about watching the other planets, just seeing how they move past their sun. So why is it such a big deal if they've been watching it? What can they learn from us as humans by watching us move past the sun?
There's a lot to that. I'd rather watch the Chris Pratt movie about the future war
Then really discuss.
than really look into this article.
Yeah,
okay?
then really look into.
And which keeps me as more pro-Earth than anything else.
You're not pro-Earth. You are Earth exclusive.
Oh, that's oh God.
You're anti all other planets. You're an Earth supremacist, Nikki.
Oh no, never mind. I don't think keep going in that direction.
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about the riot for free? Radio U.
It was just moments ago we were talking about the Shazam app, but for finding out what the bird sounds you're hearing are.
So basically, it's Merlin, and Hudson was being honest, saying how like he had heard a bird.
It was one bird.
One bird, and he was so curious as to what it was. If only he had an app like this.
Yep.
And now there's more bird news.
There is. There are some people out there who may think that the birds that I'm hearing aren't, in fact, birds at all. There was
I've
literally
not heard this before.
There's literally a rally in Springfield, Missouri over the weekend for the Birds Aren't Real movement.
Yeah.
And trying to figure this thing out, it'll make your head spin a little bit because the crux of the conspiracy theory is that all the birds some time ago were killed off and replaced
By the government?
United States government. And so now all birds are surveilling us for the purpose of some underground government network that we don't know about.
So they say that when a bird sits on like a power line,
Yep.
you know how you're like, how is that possible? It's actually recharging.
Yep.
And they say that if it poops on your car, that's a tracking device. It's installing on your
Yep.
car to track you.
And that's just the beginning
Did you
of
hear-
how deep this conspiracy goes.
Now, I was wondering, but then I looked further. So the guy who is doing this thing is kind of like doing it as a joke.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And they call it spread the feathered gospel for activists with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But when you watch the video, you can tell like there's a good, first off, a rally is a generous word.
Right.
Rallies, you think like it's like 20, 25 people.
Yeah.
But some look like his friends.
Uh-huh.
And they probably are just going along with it.
Yep.
But there's a few that look like they maybe believe this
Yes.
conspiracy theory.
Well, that's the problem with any internet thing. I mean, you've all seen it. Please tell me this is the Onion. You know, like people will see stories that are too fake to be believable, and yet even on those Onion stories, sometimes there's people that believe them. And just with any conspiracy theory, the flat earth stuff, I mean, like you wonder, are we allowed to offend anything anymore? You know what I mean? Like, can I even say the flat earth is
don't know.
clearly ridiculous? Because somebody out there is like, hey, hold on a minute, buddy. I actually think the earth is flat. And so that actually applies to the birds aren't real as well, even though it's run as a joke. The guy does it so deadpan and serious,
That people
and the
get-
people that post on, like it
Yeah.
has a huge Reddit forum and stuff like that. The people that are joking about it, it's done with a lot of earnestness because that's the joke. And so there are people that are just picking up on this and are like, yeah, JFK was assassinated because he wouldn't implement the bird plan.
That's
you
it.
know? So
it
man,
seems
it makes
like
your
for
head spin.
him, for his bird Reddit forum, he's got 360,000 Reddit subscribers. And he started with the Birds Aren't Real in January 2017 at the Memphis Women's March.
Yep. And
That's
it's
when
blossomed from there.
That's when he launched. So if you hear about the Birds Aren't Real, it itself isn't real.
Right.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
And it is a food fight this morning.
It's a tough day, guys.
It is. We've fought through a lot, and now we are fighting our way into the new Little Debbie Cosmic Brownie cereal. I like that we got the family size.
I think that's all they offer.
Oh, really?
They assume if you're buying this,
Well,
that
you
you're
must
a
have
part of a
you must
family.
have children. You
I
would never
know.
get this as an adult for yourself.
Now, I don't know if anybody wants to hop in and tell me if they also agree or if they disagree at 877-2-RADIO-U. But these are the Cosmic Brownies from Little Debbie. It's like the two little fudgy brownie squares with the
Yep.
little fruity pebble things on top. I never liked those.
No, they're near the bottom of the Little Debbie rankings, which doesn't mean they're inedible.
But they're very much on the bottom.
Yeah, you just really, most of us wouldn't choose them, especially once you reach the age of like 16.
So why did
maybe.
they make a cereal out of it? Why couldn't we have like a zebra cake cereal?
You know what? Because I think just because it's just straight chocolate and sugar, it really
easiest.
translates well to a cereal.
Yeah, that's true.
So it might be good. It actually smells immaculate. It really has a nice fragrance to it.
It smells spot on.
Yeah.
So this is the Cosmic Brownies from Little Debbie, the cereal from Kellogg's, which I thought we'd try dry first.
Dry first. All right, without the milk.
You guys ready to hear the crunch? Mmm. Yeah, it's just chocolate cereal. I think they just took whatever chocolate cereal they had from something else. They're like, yeah, just let's shape it like a brownie.
That's Cocoa Puffs in a slightly different shape.
It's good, but it is just, to me, chocolate cereal.
Yeah, it's not exciting. But it's also the kind of thing, if you're a kid, it's like, yeah, chocolate, cereal.
We just act like a kid.
Yeah, we just live our
That's our
lives
other problem.
like children. It's not so bad.
I feel like with adding milk, it's not going to change it too much.
No.
But if
We'll
you
see.
like a chocolate cereal, this really is all that this is.
Ooh, they've sat here in the milk for a second. Nice.
As I choke on it. Milk does make this better. I actually like that better. Mmm. Oh, wait. Now it gets... It disintegrates rather quickly.
Yeah,
I don't know
those gotta
about
have
its structural integrity.
It
You feel
doesn't.
like it just caves in?
Yeah, it really
weird.
gives up after one chew.
Wow, it does. It's not going to fight you at all.
No, but it's actually pretty good. We have this big family sized box. I think it'll. You leave it on the break room table. Somebody will eat it.
I feel like I need someone to bring in a family-sized thing of milk, though, because
Yeah, that's right.
we don't have any more. I only brought a tiny bit in. So if any of our Radio U staff wants this, you're going to have to bring your own accompanying beverage to go with it.
You know what you need to do, in keeping with Radio U tradition, Nikki?
What?
You've got to put some of this in your coffee. I'm gonna do it.
Did you bring coffee?
I've got my coffee. Do you have
pour it
yours?
in. No, I'm just going to live through
All right.
you with it.
All right, let's
pour
see.
it in and let's see how
Let's see
that does.
what happens.
That's a good idea.
Hopefully it doesn't ruin the coffee. But you can see on the Radio U Facebook page, I've done it.
Yeah, it's
in
there. Guys, I think we got to get more into additions
Putting
to
things in coffee.
Yeah, we do. Like add a little cake.
Yep.
Just go with it.
See a cinnamon bagel in a coffee. You think that could be good?
That'd be wonderful.
That's
Dunk
a
it
good
in like a
idea.
donut.
Yep.
All right, you going to try
all right,
it?
Let's see.
Has it had a time to soak it up enough?
No, not yet. It's got a tiny tinge of sweetness, but it's mostly still our coffee.
Well, give it a minute, then it'll break up completely at the bottom.
All right, let's stall. I'm swishing it around a little bit. Maybe
See what it
that'll
does?
help.
This is the Cosmic Brownie, the Little Debbie cereal that they came out
All right,
with.
we're swishing. We're swishing in my Sheets coffee mug here.
Nice.
Have you been to the new Sheets? Oh, yeah, you've been.
Well, there's another new one.
There is?
They've
Closer
opened up-
or?
that one is farther from us.
I think I need some Sheets tonight.
They're Sheets is a gas station. They're building
Yes.
one over there at the Parkway.
Yeah.
And so they haven't started that one. Like if they want to hurry up on that, that'd be good. All right, what do you think? Cosmic Brownie, cereal,
Maybe
and
I just
coffee?
didn't put in enough, or maybe it just collapsed in the milk. So you would
Yeah.
think in the coffee it would just fall right apart. But if it did, it's not giving me a lot of. Let me open this up again. Oh no! Can you see that?
Oh gosh. What happened?
I don't think I should be drinking this. If you visually saw this before you tried
I
doing
don't think
this,
you would.
man,
It looks kind of
Let me give it
gross.
one more shot.
Listen, you've given it many times. It's not going to work with the coffee.
Oh yeah, this is a mistake.
Yeah, back to milk.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
A lot of times we like to just talk about what happened in our day yesterday.
Just kind of, see
Yeah.
what happened yesterday.
And guess what?
What?
Nothing.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, sometimes that's the best day.
That's right. I didn't even watch 6 hours of TV or anything.
Like the day before.
Yeah. I just had nothing. I just chilled out, lost track of time, and that was it. Did you get into anything?
I think I'm probably in the same boat, not too much, which is good, I guess. It's just nice to have a little bit break of a day.
It's good for us, not good for the show.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe we should pretend no, we were really hard at work all day,
Yep. Oh,
even into the night.
I got hit by a train.
It was that much.
Yeah, it was for the show.
Well, I mean,
You'll never believe the story.
Please don't say Hudson is not dedicated, because he absolutely is.
I had to have. It was getting late. I knew I had to have something to talk about, so I went to the tracks, and the locomotive was coming my way. Fortunately, I survived.
Oh, good.
Not a scratch on me. But
well, if not, it's like, how hurt can you be and still come in? Because you want to be delicate about that. You're like, oh, how sick is someone? And be like, oh, are you still coming in, or is it a half day for you while you heal from your train injury, or
it's
what?
a good point. If I did go down to the train tracks, then it's a win-win either way. Either I get hit by a train and I'm too injured to come into work,
sure,
so I don't have to worry about what I need to talk about, or I get hit by a train and it's a good story. But I shouldn't be joking about this, because I used to always hear those PSAs, public service announcements, little things. They sound like commercials, but they're not commercials because they're paid for by like the government.
Yeah.
And one of the ones I used to hear all the time was about how you shouldn't cross train tracks unless you're really sure. If the barriers are down, the lights are blinking, do not cross the train tracks. And I always thought, how many people are really getting hit by trains?
You'd be surprised. You are.
Yeah, enough to make PSA campaigns about it. So
I think they have to cover so many sections of like transportation and this and that, just to make sure that everybody's covered.
Yeah, because really a lot of them would just boil down to like, don't drunk drive and don't, do drugs, but that's not. You need more variety than
they
that.
Have to have more than that.
So they have to come up with new ones, like don't get hit by trains.
Well, I just again want to let you know, in case I've never said this enough, but if you ever need a break for a day, you just let me know. You don't have to go to that extreme.
Am I allowed to call in just because there's not enough to talk about?
No, we still have to make something.
Okay. Well, I'll make something.
But I don't want you to ever make something so extreme.
Okay.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
A bear hunt is on in the state of Minnesota, Nikki, but this one is a special one.
It is.
And what makes it so special?
I don't think a bear hunt is special, but I'd love to hear why.
It is a unique bear hunt because this bear is a gun-toting bear.
Oh, finally he's fighting back.
He is, yep. he's had enough. He's been the hunted this whole time. And
not anymore?
It's totally a movie, isn't it?
It does feel like it.
He steals a gun. This is like he's Jack Bauer. He steals the gun, and all of a sudden the authorities are tracking him. They don't know what he's doing, but it's a bear all about the woods in Minnesota.
What's the anime, or what's the bear, the picnic basket one?
What's that
Yogi? One? Yogi Bear.
Yeah.
But like Yogi's mad. It's like Yogi and John Wick put together.
Yes. They've done something to Boo Boo, and so Yogi's out for revenge.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad because it works.
Yep, it totally
works.
So he steals a picnic basket and he knows it has a gun in it. And boom, all of a sudden he's on the loose. And those bumbling park rangers can't seem to track him down, and he's taking them out one by one.
It looks like technically like the bear has a backpack, and the backpack has the gun.
Yes.
So he took someone's backpack with a handgun and some snacks inside.
Yeah.
Dude, why's he got a handgun and snacks? And he ran off into the woods, so they're trying to find him.
Yes. I guess the good news is they say that the authorities say they found the backpack.
Oh,
it was shredded up. The gun was still with it.
Oh, but the snacks are gone.
So the bear took what was really important.
That's the food.
But the bear is still on the loose, though. Fortunately, he doesn't have a handgun at the moment that we know of.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe this is a repeat thing for him, and maybe he's got a stash of handguns.
Man, that would have been awful if the bear shot himself accidentally.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's not food.
Yeah, that would. He just thinks he's going in for some Cheetos, and all of a sudden things take a turn for the worse. So fortunately, that didn't seem to happen.
They say the bear stealing the handgun in the bag was a first for the park agency and the Forest Service. They had not seen that or had that call come in before, but no one was hurt.
Yeah, but
except the snacks.
It would sure be something. Like, it's one thing if you saw a bear out in the woods. What if you saw a bear and he's carrying a gun?
He's got a gun.
What do? They don't have a handbook for that.
You don't know
play
how to
dead.
handle it. You are. At this point, you're
going to be
almost
dead. And whether it's the bear or the gun, either way, you're dying.
Like they say, like, what are the odds that you run into a bear? The odds that the bear would try to attack you.
Yeah.
But then you also are like, what are the odds that you're shot at?
What are the odds that the bear either knows how to use the gun and is ready to use it on you, or doesn't know how to use the gun, but accidentally sets it off on you? It's just a whole bad situation.
Maybe if it's on the ground, like the forest floor, it'd only be your foot that got shot. So maybe that would be not as bad.
If you could like pop it out of his hand. Like, is that the move there? If you see a bear with a gun, do you go for, I'll at least try to get the gun out?
Honestly, if I find a bear with a gun, I'm going on Facebook or Instagram Live because that's amazing.
And you're going to live stream your death.
Not that, but me getting away. But I want to show everybody that I'm not lying.
Yeah.
That the bear has a gun.
I guess you would have to take a picture before you do anything. It's a total different, because if you see somebody with a gun in real life, you're just like, you're going to be calm and you're going to put your hands up and whatever. But if it's a bear, I don't know if you do the same thing, because you just don't know what the bear is capable of with that gun.
That's next
So running
level.
away might be the best option. But then again, bears are so fast. It might chase you down.
Yeah, but he just ate, so maybe he is slow. He won't want to kill you.
I guess so.
But yeah.
You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I saw this headline. Dozens of weed-eating goats were set loose in New York City.
What are they?
And I was wondering, like,
Why?
who's giving them the weed?
Oh, that type of weed. No,
Yeah.
I mean like
Do they
weeds.
have? Are they really stressed, or like, do they have a condition?
No,
you
I think it's like ground weeds. Like,
Yes.
no one's maintaining the because it's not like there's a lot of grass in New York City, but I guess there's probably there's a lot of weeds.
Yeah. After looking into the story, I became very disappointed to
That's the
find
other
that they actually are just eating invasive plants.
Okay.
Which, who knows? Maybe there could be some stray weed growing there. You
Not
never know.
sure.
But it's called Riverside Park in New York City. They've released 24 goats, and they are going to stay there all the way until August to try to clean up the park a little bit. So they've got a full-time job.
They do.
And that's eating all the weeds that they can find.
Would a goat eat other stuff, like if there's trash or?
Have you seen a goat?
I think
They'll
they
eat
do.
They will bite you because they think you're food. I've had goats bite me before. Like, you go to a petting zoo or something,
Yeah, and they'll just
come
come at
up and start chomping on your shorts or something because it just looks like food to them.
Maybe they hope they'll clean up the trash too, but they're not saying
Yeah,
that.
right.
They're only there to officially take care of the quote weed
They
problem.
get rid of the weeds,
Yeah.
and if they happen to eat
the
some
trash.
McDonald's wrappers that are just lying around, cluttering
I
up the
see.
park.
Oh, they used to be there.
Yeah,
so they used
they're bringing them home.
Yeah, there was 1 year ago, so I didn't catch that part. Due to COVID, they'll stay in the park until August. I wonder if you can pet them or if you're just supposed to leave them alone.
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine you'd be able to pet them. Goats are usually pretty safe.
I'm watching video of it.
I can hear
There's
it.
the goats.
I wonder
They're off.
who it is. I guess it looks like they have it fenced off, because I was going to say, how do they make sure that the goats don't wander off and wind
they
up
just
somewhere else?
Keep them in there.
And meanwhile, somebody's got to be cleaning up the goat poop. So do they have to hire, hiring 12 goats to eat the weeds, wouldn't it be easier to hire one person to take care of the weeds, or a
And
few
not
people
have the
and not
cleanup?
have to hire a person to take care of the goat poop?
Listen, this is a feel-good story, so they don't want you to
We're
focus
supposed
on
to
that
like
part.
it.
You're just supposed to let them eat the stuff, and I'm sure the other just takes care of itself. It fertilizes for the grass and the beautiful stuff to start growing.
I just realized about this show.
What?
So I was homeschooled, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll see my mom, who homeschooled me and homeschooled all of our other children. We're all graduated, obviously. And so none of us are in public school. She has nothing to do with public school. And then she'll be criticizing the public school on her Facebook and stuff. And that's all the show is. Because we're just me. I'm my mom.
I
I'm
feel like you're more
criticizing
critical than me.
New York City for their goat park thing. I'm not in New York City. I've never lived there. I've only visited a couple times.
You don't have to deal with the weeds in this area.
It's not my taxes or the weeds or the goat poop that I'm going to be dealing with. So why am I even criticizing it?
It gives the goats something to do. It's a nice thing for the community. What's the problem?
I don't know. It doesn't even matter what the problem is. It's not my business.
It's not your problem.
Why don't we only talk about things that I have, that I actually have an expertise on and that affect me personally?
Well, I don't know if we'll have much of a show then, unless you count like the fact that you still hate Subway.
Right. Even that doesn't affect me. I don't go to Subway. Why am I criticizing Subway? If people like the tuna, just go eat the tuna.
So that's in New York City's Riverside Park, and they were brought back on Wednesday, and it's the invasive plants. So that's the weed problem that they're dealing with.
Not the other kind.
Hudson sees the glass as half empty. But get this. He thinks a glass half empty is good. The Riot. Radio U.
So it's up to you if you want to believe this or not, because it's on Reddit. So every story on Reddit, you always have to take with a giant chunk, one of those Himalayan salt lamps of salt.
Yeah, but I think maybe it's more than we realize. Like maybe it's not as bad. It's not as just, anybody posting anything.
Yeah, and sometimes, especially when it's one of these ones, it's not where it feels like it's supposed to be, where somebody's... Okay, with other stories that we deal with, you can tell where somebody's trying to get in the news.
Yeah.
But I think with people posting on Reddit, they're just posting. They're not doing it for the attention necessarily. So this is on the AITA Reddit, if you know what that stands for. And it is a young lady who says that her boyfriend broke up with her because she did not fully appreciate Black Widow.
That was why?
Yeah. She says, according to her, they had just watched Black Widow. He asked, what did you think? And she says, this is her quote, "I really love the beginning, but towards the middle, all the action scenes seemed a bit messy and convoluted." So she didn't think she enjoyed it all that much.
And then overall, she didn't like it as much. And then they broke up?
Yeah.
Or then, he broke up with her?
The boyfriend got angry. She said... because this is her telling the story, he said she didn't understand some inside Easter eggs because she hadn't seen all of the other movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But she says she's seen them all except Infinity War.
Oh.
Yeah, so she should appreciate all the Easter eggs.
He called her a liar. We had to go and do that, didn't
because
we?
she hadn't really watched them. And because she hadn't sat down and watched them in order. So there's this
she
whole...
called him a gatekeeper. I love it all. I just love... See, this is why I just want Reddit things to be real. Because this is way better than reading any news story.
Yeah, of course it is. So, one, you don't think this is a ghost of Christmas future for you, is it?
Because I haven't
Eric
seen
is
any
not going to get so frustrated one day after you actually take the time to watch Loki and then you describe your thoughts to him and he's going to be like, you just don't get it. You haven't seen all the other Marvel stuff.
Well, I'm going to call him a gatekeeper and he's going to call me a liar and then that's just going to be it.
Yeah. But I feel that this guy, if this is a true story, this guy doesn't know what he's got. Like, he needs to count his lucky stars that he was dating this girl in the first place.
Because she wanted to watch it
She
with
watched
him.
all the movies, and she even gave such a thoughtful review as, "I really loved the beginning, but towards the middle, all the action scenes seemed a bit messy." She used the word convoluted to describe a Marvel movie.
She seems pretty on it.
She's a catch, it sounds like.
So they, looks like they broke up at that point or not together anymore, which, if this is real or not on Reddit, what would you do?
Yeah. Is it worth breaking up over a movie? I wonder how long they've been dating before.
Oh,
Maybe.
I feel like there were cracks in the foundation before they got
you're
to
totally
Black
right.
Widow.
You're totally right. If he's gatekeeping about Marvel, who knows what other things he's very...
there was probably a really long list that he was doing the same thing with.
Just don't even try to get her to watch Harry Potter. He probably has strong thoughts on that, too.
He has thoughts on everything.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go through the comments. That's sometimes the best part about anything on Reddit.
Yes, I like this. I hope she lands on her feet and finds somebody a lot better than this guy who's more concerned with the Black Widow on the screen than the Black Widow in front of him
In
the whole
his
time.
heart.
In his heart. Yeah,
That's who really is the Black Widow there.
that's right.
And Kelton said, totally not worth breaking up over.
No, it's not, especially this Marvel movie. You know, if you want to break up because they don't appreciate Captain America and Winter Soldier, that's totally different. The movie, not the TV show, The Falcon and Winter Soldier.
But it's just not worth it.
No, for Black Widow.
Listen, you're paying Disney and you're letting them ruin your relationship.
Right.
So you can't break up like that.
Just take it easy.
This is The Riot.
Radio U.
It's a big day today.
What's today?
National Hot Dog Day.
Why do I feel like it's the national day so many? Like, are we just
It's always
highlighting
a
them more
national
often?
day.
It's always something.
It's always a national day. And in the summertime, when you go from July 4th to Labor Day without any actual holidays,
You'll take
you need to
anything?
look for something to celebrate. And so that today is National Hot Dog Day. So
What
they're
do we
actually
get?
not a lot.
Is there like something from Sonic? That's the only place I can think of that sells the hot dogs.
No, not Sonic. The best one probably, and this doesn't help us unless it also includes their ghost kitchens, is Nathan's Famous.
Oh, yeah.
We were talking, Nikki and I, it was off air. It was a couple days ago.
In case you're wondering, what do Hudson and I look at?
It's the same stuff we talk about on the air.
On
We talk
air.
about off the air. And for some reason, we got stuck on this Nathan's Famous hot dogs, where they do the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
And we were like, where can you actually get those?
Well, we were
besides
running-
in the grocery store.
Well, we were also running like store-wise because I've only eaten in a Nathan's, I think, like in an airport.
Yeah.
I've never been to one in like a standalone store.
Right, because they do, if you don't know, they actually do have restaurants.
They do.
Of course, many of us, if we're hot dog aficionados, know you can get them in the hot dog aisle at your local grocery store.
So we were like, hey, let's look up the locations. And then I pulled up the map and it was like, like Nathan's is everywhere.
Right. We
And
were
then
surprised to see.
I actually looked and I was like, no, they just have ghost kitchens everywhere.
They in our area, there's the closest one, cooks out of a Frisch's Big Boy.
And
Which
I know,
doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence.
I know. And I know ghost kitchens are out of like the oddest places.
Yep.
But I felt like that was wrong. And they
Yeah.
picked the opposite side of town to where it's so far away.
Yeah, we
they
couldn't
won't
get it
even deliver
anyways.
here.
But if we could, and if they are honoring this deal, which I'm not sure that they are, you can get 5-cent hot dogs.
5 free ones?
No, 5 cent.
Oh, 5-cent hot dogs.
Yes.
Oh.
Nickel. A hot dog for a nickel. You know what that is? a piece of chain, like a 5-cent piece, a coin with Thomas Jefferson on it.
How about we go and park outside of the Big Boy and then just order the
We'll show them
Nathan's-
this news story and say, we demand our
the
5-cent hot dogs.
We know you're in there.
And Frisch's Big Boy probably, you know what? That's probably normal for them. You think?
People knocking on the door yelling.
Yeah, just like unruly customers that really want their discounted senior breakfast or something.
Dude, I don't even know anymore to trust when I want to have something delivered because anytime you look it up, you're like, that's not that. That's
Right.
not Big Boy. That's not Nathan's.
It's not actually Nathan's. It's just Big Boy with a Nathan's
He's lying.
logo. But that is, by the way, if you did want to take advantage, only from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Oh, for
So
today?
it's really a limited window. The other places on this list I've never even heard of, so why even acknowledge them?
Well, no, which ones? Maybe it's regional.
Let's see. Dog House, a free house dog through their app today. So that's actually at least something free.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have never heard of Dog House, and that's HAUS, like it's German or something.
Sure.
So, but it is, I'm assuming, in the U.S. Hamburger stand and Wiener Schnitzel. You can get 5 chili dogs for $5
Oh, that sounds like a.
or your money back.
It sounds like heartburn or something
Yeah.
that make you feel old. Like later in the day, can you eat 5?
And here's what's crazy. It's a chili dog.
Yeah.
Cheese is not included. So you have to pay if you want the cheese. Who
Why
gets
would
a
they-
hot dog without a chili dog without cheese?
Wow, way to be cheap, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, they don't want to lose all their business. They have to at least get the cheese money today.
How about this? 7-Eleven.
Oh gosh,
You
no.
can get a quarter-pound big dog.
Big dog for what?
$1. Is that even a deal? Isn't that what they sell them for normally?
Not the big one.
The big dog? Hey, you should not be walking into a 7-Eleven and paying more than $1 for a hot
a hot
dog.
dog?
You should. That is a bad choice.
You get in there and you say it's a holiday. Give me something cheaper.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content,
Head to riot.radiou.com.